In the quiet town of Milford, Illinois, the cornfields stretched like golden waves under the endless summer sky of 1985. The Graves Mill, a crumbling relic of the town's industrial past, stood alone, its rusted gears and weathered timbers whispering secrets of forgotten days. Harlan Graves, a sharp-minded entrepreneur of 72, had invited 4 old friends, fellow World War II veterans, for a weekend reunion. The mill, once the heart of Milford's prosperity, now echoed with the weight of their shared past. The group was 5 strong: Harlan, the host, whose fortune came from post-war manufacturing; Elias Thorne, 70, a retired mechanic whose grease-stained hands could coax life from any engine, from tractors to his beloved '49 Chevy pickup; Victor Lang, 68, a former Army medic turned pharmacist, with an uncanny knowledge of poisons and remedies; Samuel "Sam" Whitaker, 71, a grizzled ex-pilot who still flew his Cessna, spinning tales of Pacific dogfights; and Benjamin "Ben" Croft, 69, a reserved banker whose ledger-like mind hid grudges as old as their friendships. They rolled into the mill's gravel lot one by one that Friday afternoon, their classic cars gleaming with nostalgia. Elias's Chevy rumbled low, its chrome polished to a mirror shine. Victor's '55 Thunderbird purred, sleek and predatory. Sam's '47 Jeep Willys growled, as rugged as he was. Ben's '50 Buick Roadmaster glided in, pristine and understated. Harlan met them at the mill's entrance, his cane tapping the warped planks. "Gentlemen," he said, his voice carrying the old authority of a platoon leader, "welcome back to where it all began. Tonight, we drink to old times. Tomorrow, we settle scores with poker, whiskey, and stories." Inside, the mill's cavernous hall had been transformed. Locals had swept away decades of dust, setting a long oak table with sizzling steaks, bottles of bourbon, and boxes of cigars. Oil lamps flickered, casting shadows that danced like ghosts across the rafters. The men settled in, their laughter filling the air as they swapped stories of wartime heroics, lost loves, and the businesses they de-built. But beneath the camaraderie, tension simmered. Harlan had struck it rich with rare minerals found on his land, worth millions. Whispers spread that he'd reveal his will that weekend, dividing his estate or cutting someone out. Elias, nursing a bourbon, still stung from Harlan's refusal to loan him money for his struggling garage. Victor's jaw tightened at the memory of Harlan canceling his pharmacy's supply contract. Sam, his pilot's cap tilted back, coveted Harlan's airstrip, a dream just out of reach. Ben, sipping his drink quietly, hid the darkest secret. Harlan knew he'd embezzled from a veterans fund in '52, a betrayal that could ruin him. As thunder rumbled outside, the poker game began. Chips clinked, cards snapped against the table, and bets grew bold. Elias won the first hand with a full house, his tobacco-stained teeth flashing in a grin. "Still got the touch," he muttered. Victor folded early, his sly smile betraying nothing as he swirled his bourbon. Sam bluffed through a straight, his eyes glinting with mischief. Ben calculated odds silently, his gaze sharp as a hawk's around midnight. Harlan stood, stretching. "More whiskey from the basement," he said, his cane tapping as he descended the rickety stairs. The men played on, but minutes stretched 5, 10, 15. Sam chuckled, old man's probably napping down there, but his laugh was hollow. Elias, his joints creaking like the mill's gears, stood. "I'll check on him." The basement was cold, the air thick with the scent of mildew. In the dim glow of a single bulb, Elias froze. Harlan lay face down, blood pooling around an antique wrench Elias's own buried in his skull. Elias shouted, his voice echoing up the stairs. The others rushed down, their boots pounding. Victor knelt, checking for a pulse. Dead, he said. Blunt force trauma. But something's off, no defensive wounds, and the blood's congealing too fast. Panic flickered, but these were men forged in war. They steadied themselves. Sam bolted upstairs to call the sheriff, only to find the phone line dead cut, perhaps by the storm or something more sinister. Outside, rain lashed the windows, turning the dirt roads to mud. They were trapped in the mill until dawn. Ben took charge, pacing with a banker's precision. We solved this ourselves. One of us did this or all of us had motive. He listed their grievances: Elias's loan, Victor's contract, Sam's airstrip, his own embezzlement. Harlan was about to name his heir. That's motive enough. Accusations erupted. Elias slammed his fist on the table. That wrench is mine, but I left it in my truck. Anyone could have taken it. Victor frowned at the body. The blood's too thick. Poison first, then the wrench to cover it. Sam recalled Harlan's invitation mentioning a shadow from the past. Ben suggested searching the body. In Harlan's pocket, they found a crumpled note: the mill hides more than grain. Betrayer among friends. They agreed to search the mill, splitting up to cover ground. Elias climbed to the loft, where rusted machinery loomed like skeletal beasts. He rifled through crates, finding only dust and faded blueprints until a floorboard creaked underfoot. Prying it up, he uncovered a hidden compartment: yellowed letters from the war. One, from Harlan to a superior, accused Elias of cowardice in '45, costing him a promotion. That bastard, Elias hissed, pocketing the letter. A shadow moved behind him. He spun, dodging just as a beam crashed down, rigged to fall. Victor, in the chemical storage room, scanned shelves of faded bottles: arsenic, cyanide precursors, relics of the mill's dye operations. He sniffed Harlan's whiskey glass from upstairs, catching an almond-like scent: cyanide. Clever, he murmured. But who had access? As he turned, a vial shattered at his feet, releasing choking fumes. He stumbled back, realizing it was a trap. Sam braved the rain-slicked catwalk outside. Lightning revealed fresh tire tracks in the mud, not from their cars. Someone else was here, he muttered. Leaning over the railing, he felt a hard shove. He grabbed the edge, heart pounding, but no one was there. Ben stayed in the basement, studying the body. The wrench wasn't the killing blow. Harlan's lips were blue, confirming poison. The note's ink was fresh, forged in a safe. He found Harlan's will: equal shares for all, except a codicil cutting out the traitor who sold secrets in '45. Ben's hands shook. He was that traitor, having leaked intel for cash during the war, a secret Harlan had uncovered. They regrouped, sharing their finds. Elias brandished the letters: Harlan ruined my career. Victor confirmed cyanide, slow-acting, mixed in his drink, then the wrench to mislead. Sam pointed to the tracks: an outsider. Ben revealed the will: motive for all, but especially the traitor. Suspicion boiled over. Elias jabbed a finger at Victor. You know poison's best. Victor snapped at Sam. You fly low. Could ve snuck in. Sam glared at Ben. Greed's your game. Ben eyed Elias. Your wrench, your letters too convenient. As dawn broke, the rain eased, and a siren wailed: the sheriff approaching. but Ben demanded a final deduction. The killer poisoned Harlan, then staged the wrench. The traps were to silence us. The note and letters red herrings. Elias lunged at Ben. You embezzled, and Harlan knew. A scuffle broke out, and Harlan's antique colt fell from Elias's pocket. Victor pulled them apart, but Sam noticed something. Elias's hands, always grease-stained, were clean. And those tire tracks, Sam said, they match your Chevy's mud tires. Elias laughed, bitter and broken. Fine. I did it. Harlan's accusation destroyed me. I poisoned his drink, hit him when it was too slow. The traps to cover my tracks. The sheriff burst in, cuffing Elias. Case closed, or so it seemed. Weeks later, Victor sat in his pharmacy, reading a headline, Milford millionaire murder solved. But he knew better. He deforged the letters, spiked Harlan's bourbon with a non-lethal dose, and rigged the wrench to frame Elias. Why Harlan had stolen his fiancée in '45, and the minerals were Victor's revenge. The traps and tracks his Thunderbird's altered were diversions. Ben, in his bank, smirked. He tampered with the will to spark chaos, but he was clean. Or was he? Sam, flying his Cessna, spotted a buried box near the mill. Inside were letters proving he betrayed the group for Japanese gold in '45. He burned them, safe. In prison, Elias received a visitor, a lawyer. Harlan faked his death, he whispered. Poison was a ruse, the wrench, a prop. He's in Mexico with the money, framing you for insurance fraud. But the body was buried. It couldn't be. The truth unfolded slowly. Ben was the killer. He'd stolen Victor's cyanide, used Elias's wrench, forged Sam's tracks, and planted the letters to sow discord. His motive: Ben had loaned Harlan money against the minerals, but Harlan planned to default. The traps were Ben's attempt to silence discoveries. The shocking twist: Ben was Harlan's illegitimate brother, hidden for decades, killing for control. But as the sheriff, Ben's accomplice, drove Elias away, Ben returned to the mill. Harlan was alive, gasping. Brother, why? Harlan had survived the poison, faking his death with Victor's help to trap Ben. The wrench was rubber, the blood pig's Victor, Sam, and Elias were in on it, uniting against the true betrayer. Ben was arrested, his world shattered. In his cell, a note arrived: we all betrayed in war. But you killed for greed. Signed by all. They split the fortune, leaving Ben to wonder, was it justice or a con? The mill burned that night, erasing evidence. The men vanished, or so the town believed. Harlan's fortune, donated to veterans, was gone. The real killer, their shared guilt, binding them forever.